I'm going to show you how to mount the bridge on a CS cam. Here's the CS cam, no plates on it. It's got both of the holding plates on it. Here's the bridge, two rods that go down underneath to help hold the bridge, and 4 screws. Each screw has a lock washer and a big fat washer. Those screws will go into the side through the bridge into the rods from both sides. This is a Logitech camera that can work on it. This is the Dynalight camera and the stand that is used with the Dynalight camera. I'm going to start looking at the end of the CS that is opposite where the motor connection is made. You notice that this piece here, I'm also using the holding beams to keep it horizontal. You see these 2 holes here. The rods will be mounted through those into those 2 holes. Those holes are not in a regular CS, so if you're going to have a CS cam, this piece has to be replaced with the piece that has the holes. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to set this up on the machine, and notice the direction I'm doing it. The screws have to face to this side. It goes right down in that little hole and then over on top of the piece that connects. Okay, I'm just going to let it rest there where it comes to a stop. Now I'm going to have to hold it. I'm going to put a screw through, and that screw goes through the hole that I was showing you a moment ago, and that has locked this from falling. I'm going to take one of the rods, I'm going to put it inside and connect it to that screw. And because the screw is a little bit locked right now because of the angle of the beam, of the bridge, I have to twist the rod to tighten it. Now I'm going to straighten the bridge up a bit, and I'm going to tighten that screw a little bit more. I have to hold the bridge up. I have to hold everything level. Okay, I'm going to have to use a wrench to hold the beam in here, the rod. Okay, I've gotten hold of the rod. I'm going to set the rod so that I can tighten it. And I'm going to hold the bridge while I tighten this screw. And the wrench is keeping the rod from turning. Okay, it's getting tight. It's somewhat tight. Now I'm going to turn the bridge around. I'm going to remove the wrench. I'm going to flip the CS around. I'm going to get another one of those screws. I'm going to put it through this hole. And I dropped it. There's another one. Put it through this hole into I'm hitting the rod. Tighten this now into the end of the rod. Holding the rod so I can turn the screw into it. I may have to jiggle it a little bit. There we go. Okay, and that's now tightening into that rod. The rod is not spinning because I made it fairly tight on the other side. Okay, I've done the top, and I'm going to loosen this just a little bit because I don't want it locked into position. I'm going to take off the holding beams. You notice that I'm holding the bridge. I'll take off the holding beams, and I'm going to let the machine come down, and the hole disappears. The bottom screw is very difficult because you have to have the screw hole accessible. It's not accessible here. So the bridge has to be over here for that screw hole to be accessible. And I have to hold the bridge at the same time I hold in a certain position. And what I have found works best is to just come to the back side, take an Allen wrench, and stick an Allen wrench through the holes, through the bottom hole of the bridge. And then into the piece that the bridge screws to. Let's get that Allen wrench through that hole. Okay, I have it through the hole. So that locks it so that the bridge is in the correct position. Now I'm going to lift the bridge and put the screw through the hole here. And that should line up pretty well because that Allen wrench is holding it in the right position on the other side. And the problem is that my fingers are too fat to fit in here easily. I have greater trouble getting it through the back side of the bridge than I do this CS cam piece. Okay, I have that. Take the wrench, the screw, let me get the rod. And the rod's hard to hold here because everything's in the way. So I'm going to use my fingers, and I have to come in sort of this way to get to it. The bridge has to be lifted enough that the Allen wrench will fit into the screw. Okay, I have it in the screw. Now I'm going to hold that rod. Actually, I'm going to hold the screw because it's crooked, and try and get the two started without being cross-threaded. Okay, I think I have it. I think I have it started without being cross-threaded. Oh yes, I'm good. The screw's in now. So screw it in. Okay, it's mostly in. Now I'm going to switch the machine around again to get to the other side. You can see how I put the Allen wrench in from the back side. Now, I'm going to take that Allen, I'm going to hold the bridge where it is. Take the Allen wrench out, put this screw in, get it through into the back side, and now the screw is in, but I got to line up the set lower rod. Screw is sticking too far through. I have to push the screw out of the way. I can never get my hands in there. Okay, there, the screw's out of the way. Now lift the lower rod. Okay, cover the screw, and then try and get the screw started. Screw's in a little too far. Okay, there. And now I may be able to do it. Find the screw hole. Where is it? There it is. Ah! Oops. Wrong position. I had relaxed that. Let me try this again. Okay, screws back. Try and hold all the pieces together in the right position. It's close. The Allen wrench back in the screw. Keep the rod covering the screw and start turning the screw to go into the rod. And I may have it. I have it. Okay. Just turn it in. Okay, the rod's starting to spin now, so I need to have a wrench in there. I'm putting the wrench in through the middle, back here, to hold the flat spot. Okay, now I'm going to tighten that one. I'm going to move the wrench up to the top one and tighten it. Well, actually, I'm going to tighten the other side on the bottom first, because the bridge has to be up to do the rest. Here's the screw that has to be tightened. Tighten it. And this time the rod is not turning because it's tight on the other end. Okay, and I'm tightening it here. It's good. Okay, now I can bring this up and tighten the top one. If I can get it into the screw. Tighten the top. Turn it around again. Lift this up, tighten this screw. Okay, I have tightened it now. Okay, now we have the bridge mounted, and we can start to put on the Dynalite, which requires this mast, or we can do the Logitech, which requires a tripod screw in here. This is too low to mount it. You have to mount it up here. So that's how you do this job.